Hi everyone and welcome back to the Chucky Project. Today we're going to look at the grave scene. That's the scene in which Madeline takes her baby for a walk. Nica's watching from the window. The baby flips off Nica because it's Chucky, and then Madeline throws the baby into the grave. Malcom jumps in there to retrieve the baby. Well, he doesn't jump in there, he gets pushed in there by Madeline. It's a really weird scene, and they end up retrieving the baby, and then Malcolm looks at Nica all spooky like, and it fakes out the audience like, holy shit, is that Chucky? So it's an interesting scene, but it's kind of weird. But I think I'm going to keep it in there. As of now, I have it in there. But in the actual film, it's kind of interweaved with Claire getting decapitated by Chucky, which is impossible because Chucky is supposed to be flipping off Nica. So he can't be in two places at once. Very simply, I just divided those scenes into two separate scenes. So first comes the grave scene, and then later Madeline is going to go sneak into, excuse me, Claire is going to sneak into Madeline's room while Madeline is sleeping, and she's going to take her Chucky doll. Therefore, we're going to see that it's one and the same. This doll is the one that gets taken out and flips off Nica is going to be the same one that murders Claire because it's the same doll that's alive throughout my film. Okay, so that all said, I had to decide here at this point. We could see this is the doctor holding one of the Chuckies. I had to decide here when Nica says, prove it, prove that he's alive. And then he burns the hand of one of the Chuckies, and he burns it so bad. I mean, it's just completely melted. And that Chucky showed no signs of pain, and it was never acknowledged that he felt any pain there, which is not consistent with the Child's Play universe, in which the longer Chucky is in the doll, the more human he becomes and he feels pain. And something like that, he should definitely have a reaction. But in my version, that is fixed because this doll is going to be just a doll. He's just a doll and he did switch. And even Madeline said, even Nica says, maybe he switched him. Check the other one now. And Madeline's like, you leave my baby alone. So let's just watch that little short clip real quick just to see where we're at.
Wait a minute now, him.
Nica.
He could have switched places with it somehow.
You leave my baby alone.
Maddie, wait.
What are you doing? I thought we were way past this.
I was wrong.
Yeah, about him. But what about the other one? Let's just go and get rid of him. Okay, better safe than sorry, that's what I say.
Okay, so we can see there that I had to make a decision which of these dolls is going to be alive, and there was actually reasons for either, because throughout the rest of the film the Chucky that's doing a lot of the killing is the one with the messed up hand. So by deciding that the one with the messed up hand is not alive and the other one is, now I have to make sure to not show that hand very much or where it's obvious, because if you see that melted hand, then you're like, wait a second, I thought the one with the melted hand was not alive. So some extra editing is going to be involved and throughout the rest of the movie, but I was able to successfully do that, and it still looks fine. So I like the fact that the one that goes outside with Madeline and flips her off, that is the one that's alive, and it really makes for a cool scene in the graveyard scene when she's like, maybe it's the other one, and then she's watching very carefully and he flips her off. She's like, holy shit. Now to explain the whole Madeline throwing the child into the grave, well, she's crazy and she likes to kill her children, as we find out later in the film, and she originally had killed one of her actual children named Joshua earlier in life, we find out in this movie. So she throws him into the grave, and that's her crazy side. Malcolm comes out, and I think she's telling Malcolm, get the baby for me. Malcolm's like, I don't want to go in there, and then she pushes him in the grave to retrieve the baby. This is how I'm seeing it anyway. And then he retrieves the baby, and then he gives Nica the spooky look just to kind of fake out the audience. And so that's how I'm seeing that. But it does, if you first watch it, all that might not be clear, or maybe I'm even wrong on that. Maybe that's not how it was supposed to be. That's just how I'm thinking it is. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. Why she would throw her baby in the grave and then push Malcolm in there to get her is because she's crazy, and then she changed her mind and said, give me back my baby. Malcolm was like, hell no, I'm not going in there. So she shoves him in there to get the baby. There could be some dialogue there like get him for me, and then he's like, no, I'm not jumping in there. That would make it a little more clear, but there is no dialogue in the movie unless I was to try to add it. So just let me know what you think. What do you think of this whole scene anyway? The graveyard scene. I think it's kind of cool. because it's intense. And you know, any kind of movie that brings some intensity is cool. I like it when he flips her off. It's like, holy shit, that's the one that's alive. He switched the babies. He switched them. Chucky's now this one. Chucky's Madeline's baby now. And maybe it's kind of cool. I don't know. When Malcolm comes out and looks at her, and you're like, oh my gosh. We're gonna of course find out that's not him. That's not Chucky, and he's just a freaking psycho multiple Malcolm. But let's just watch this scene. Let's see if I can get it all in here. Let's just check out the graveyard scene as much as I can play here, and see what you think.
I'm sorry. Can you help me with this? I'm not used to this chair.
Sure, thanks. It's just right over here. I think there's something stuck. Yeah, it's right here. Okay.
So as you can see, it's all one continuous scene. We're not going to have the Claire murder until later, and that's going to be the next video that I put out. So that is pretty interesting scene there with the graveyard scene. Just give me your thoughts below. I thought that I would just keep this in here just like this, and it kind of establishes that Chucky switched places with the other doll. He was not the one that got his hand burned. He's now in Madeline's possession, and we don't know where the story is going with Malcolm. Did he switch with Malcolm? At this point in the movie, you know, the viewer may not know. They may suspect that Malcolm is now Chucky, or maybe he's just multiple Malcolm acting crazy, which is going to be end up being the case because there's only one Chucky. So thank you all for joining me. More videos coming soon. Have a great day. Bye bye.